Hi friends, welcome to our channel. So next topic is measurement standards. What is the measurement standard of our system? So this is the last topic of our chapter. Okay. So standards. What is standards? The instrument are calibrated at the time of manufacture against a measurement standard. Okay. So a standard is physical representation of the unit of measurement. Okay, so physical standards produce accurate and precise magnitudes of the quantities. Okay, so standards are used for calibration in order to verify the accuracy and precision of measuring instrument. Okay, so as there are fundamental derived units of measurement at different types of levels of standards are classified according to the application of and function. Okay, so there are the various standards. Okay, international standards, primary standards, with secondary standards and working standards. Okay, so we will discuss one by one. Okay, so first one is international standards. So what is international international standards was defined by international agreements. Okay, so international standards are those maintained at the International Bureau of Weights and measured in France. Okay, so the standards are periodically evaluated and checked by absolute measurements in terms of fundamental units, and they are of highest possibility accuracy and absolute quality. Okay, and they are not available to the ordinary user for calibration purpose. For improvements in the accuracy of absolute measurements, the international units are replaced by absolute units. Okay, so they represent certain unit of measurement to the closest possible accuracy attained by the science and technology of measurement and used for comparison with primary standards. Okay, so what is next is primary standards. So primary standards are maintained at institutions in various countries around the world, such as the National Bureau of Standards in Washington, DC, SIRIM in Malaysia. Okay, so primary standards are not available for use outside the national laboratories. Okay, their principal function is to calibrate and verify the secondary standards, and also known as the national standard. Okay, they are highly accurate and can be used for as ultimate reference standards. Okay, and these standards are maintained by the NBSA, means National Bureau of Standards, in different parts of the world, and they are not available outside the national laboratories, as I was told. Okay, and the main function of primary standard was what is the verification and calibration of secondary standards. Okay, so next is secondary standards. So secondary standards used as the basic reference standards used by measurement and calibration laboratories in the industry level. Okay, so each industry laboratory is completely responsible for its own secondary standards. Okay, so each laboratory sends its secondary standards to the national standards, mean primary standards laboratory for the calibration, and after the calibration the secondary standards are returned to the industrial users with the consent certification. Okay, so needs to check periodically. Okay, once in 6 months वो हम periodically check करना पड़ता है secondary standards. Okay, so secondary standards are the basis reference standards used in the laboratories. Okay, these are the highest level of standards that manufacturer has, and each industry has its own standards. The particular industry that maintains the standards, secondary standards, is responsible for the calibration of these standards. Okay, and the secondary standards are periodically sent to the national standards laboratory for calibration and the comparison against primary standards. Okay, so that is the secondary standards. After that, working standards. So what is working standards? So working standards is the principal tools of measurement laboratory and the lowest level of the standard. Okay, so used to working standards used to check and calibrate the instruments used in the laboratory or to make comparison measurement in industry application. Okay, So working standards are standards used in laboratories in the day-to-day process of calibration. Okay. For example, the standard resistor, capacitor, inductor, which usually found in an electronic laboratory, are classified as working standards. Okay. So, for example, a manufacturer of precision resistances may use a standard resistance for checking the values of resistors that are manufactured. Okay, and these are less accurate than the primary standards. Okay, primary standards से ये less accurate होता है. ठीक है. So we will discuss one by one, means voltage standards, inductance standards. Okay. वो हम डिस्कस करने रेजिस्टेंस स्टैंडर्ड्स. ओके, सो कैपेसिटेंस स्टैंडर्ड्स वी विल डिस्कस वन बाय वन इन नेक्स्ट वीडियो लेक्चर. ओके, थैंक यू. हम सब वोल्टेज स्टैंडर्ड, इंडक्टेंस, रेजिस्टेंस और कैपेसिटेंस स्टैंडर्ड्स है वो हमारे सिलेबस में है, वो हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो लेक्चर में. ओके, थैंक यू.